All right, so one of the first things I want to talk about in kind of networking advice is something that happens all the time, right? As you grow in your career, you're going to not only have the opportunity to meet more people, but you're going to have the opportunity to make connections and make introductions from one person to the other. And a practice that I built a long time ago, and I forget where I first heard this, but it's something called the double opt-in introduction, right? So you could, if you were trying to introduce person A to person B, you could just reach out to person B and say, hey, want to let you know I met with person A. They seem to be like somebody you should know. Here's their email. They're copied on this email. Go ahead and you guys should set up a meeting. That's a single opt-in, right? So you've talked to person A. They want an introduction to person B. Person B hasn't opted into that communication. So it's single opt-in introduction. A double opt-in introduction is the same setup, right? So you talk to person A and they say, hey, I'd really like to meet person B. You said, great, happy to try and set up an introduction. You reach out to person B and say, hey, I just met with person A. I think you guys would hit it off. I think it'd be great for you two to meet. Would you be open to an introduction? That gives them the opportunity to say, yes, absolutely. Or maybe say, no, sorry, I'm in a really busy season. Now is not a good time. But you're giving them the opportunity to opt in. And in my experience, most of the time, people will say yes, but they can also say no. Then, if they say yes, you go back to person A and say, hey, person B said yes, I'll set up an introduction. Then you copy both people on the email and say, hey, person A, meet person B, meet person A. You guys are going to hit it off great. Hope you have a chance to connect. Now both parties have opted into that introduction. The problem with a single opt-in introduction is something I think about a lot as somebody who introduces people very often and spends a lot of time reaching out to people cold, is I never want to send an email that is an obligation, right? An email or a communication from me should be a net positive thing or just a mini gift, as I like to call it. And if I do a single opt-in introduction, very often that other person, person B in this case, feels kind of obligated to say yes, right? If you're copied, if person A is copied on the email to person B, and you say, hey, I've copied person A, I think you should meet with them. I don't see how person B is ever going to say no. It puts them in kind of weird bind because if you're saying no, you kind of feel like a jerk. So whenever you get a chance to make introductions, if at all possible, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you do the double opt-in introduction, right? So you reach out to the person B that you're trying to get person A introduced to, and you say, hey, would you be okay? And it's a real question. If they say no, fine. Go back to person A and say, hey, now's not a great time. I'll follow up in 6 months. But you're giving that person B, the opportunity to opt into the introduction instead of just getting a cold copied email introduction from somebody who they don't know and kind of feeling obligated to say yes. So something to consider. If you have any advice on connecting two people online or via email, would love to hear it. Drop it in the comments below. Thanks.